As the air cools and Greater West Bloomfield heads indoors, we look for those close comforts that remind us of warmth and of home. And few things hit like a hot cup of tea on a cold day and a hint of sweet, tasty honey, especially when it has been sourced right here close to home in West Bloomfield. Bees in the D features hives all throughout the Metro Detroit area, including right here in our community. And soon they'll be hosting an event where locally sourced honey will be in focus. Here to tell us more is the founder of Bees in the D, Brian Peterson-Roest. Brian, thanks for joining us today.
Always great to be there, Tyler.
Happy to have you on. You have hives throughout the Metro Detroit area, as I mentioned, including some here in West Bloomfield Township. You partner with West Bloomfield Parks in part for that and for this upcoming event where people will be able to taste some of this honey. Tell us a little bit about your upcoming Honey Sommelier event that's coming back in 2025.
Yeah, so it's a very unique event. Yes, it is a Honey Sommelier event. It is there in West Bloomfield. It's at the Marshbank Park this Saturday, the 15th at 6 p.m. And we are sharing that there is a story behind every drop of honey. And we have taken a training to help train others of how they can taste and smell and use their senses to learn the different qualities of honey.
And people don't think of honey like that, where you'd have a sommelier or there's some sort of art to the different kinds of honey that are out there, especially those that come from our local hives. But there is a certain character to honey that you find all throughout Metro Detroit, whether it's in the city proper, out locally this way. Even something that close together can have its own sort of profile. So how do you highlight that to people that maybe are novices in that area?
So we are going to definitely have some local honey that you will get to sample. You will get to taste the flavor notes, the smell the notes. But we also use some monofloral honeys that are actually from Italy. They have a wider variety of monofloral honeys that allow us to really point out the different notes to look for, the different aroma, the different color even, or even texture of honey, because it is unique depending on what plants those bees go to. And so it's fun for us to use some monofloral ones from Italy, but to also bring in the honey right there from West Bloomfield.
Well, we just got past the Halloween season, so fright is still kind of on everybody's mind, but maybe the scariness behind the honeybee has been reduced in recent years as there's been more advocacy for bees, not only in Greater West Bloomfield and throughout Metro Detroit, but really around the globe as we consider their environmental impact. Does something like this help to maybe take care of some of the myths that might be out there about dangers, so to speak, about honeybees?
Yeah, definitely. That's an important part of our mission, that we are also advocating for the bees, being a voice for the bees, because a lot of times we tend to just focus on the fact that bees do have a stinger. They are able to sting, but there's a lot of other relative insects like wasps and hornets that also have that ability, that tend to be the ones that can give our bees a bad reputation. And so we do highlight that as well. A lot of education about the bees, how they make that honey, and then the differences between the many different species. I mean, in Michigan alone, we have over 460 different species of bees. And so it's important to talk about that large group of bees, the diversity of these bees, and also to learn more about their temperaments and some misunderstandings that we have about them.
Education is so important. It's such a big factor in what you do at Bees in the D. And so you're able to now connect that to adults in our community, to their families in our community through honey, and teach them about the honeybee and really the many different ways beyond just those hives and that honey that the bees impact our community. People may not understand that, Brian, so can you highlight for us just some of the ways beyond these hives and producing honey here locally in Greater West Bloomfield that something like the honeybee can impact our local ecosystem directly?
Yeah, definitely. Bees are incredible pollinators. And in order for plants to go to seed or fruit, those plants that you maybe put in your backyard, in your garden, or at the local farm, they need pollination. And if the bees aren't pollinating them, we won't get those fruits. We won't get those vegetables. And so they are important to the ecosystem for us in our food industry, but also the ecosystem, the wild ecosystem. They are pollinating pollinating a lot of the berries and trees and other plants that other life depends on. So they really are an important part of that food chain, right at the base of the food chain, where the plants are, to make sure that those plants can go to seed or to fruit.
The Honey Sommelier event with West Bloomfield Parks and Bees in the D is coming up this weekend, Saturday, November 15th, 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Marshbank Park. That's on Hiller Road in West Bloomfield. Registration is still open, but those seats are going fast. You're going to want to register as soon as possible on wbparks.org. And of course, you can also go to beesinthed.com for more information on events with Bees in the D and educational materials about honeybees and more, all throughout our community, all throughout the year. Brian, I'd imagine too, as you are having this event and you're tasting all this honey, having those experts from Bees in the D to open up the story a little more enhances the experience for people that are going there to taste what's hopefully some really tasty honey, but maybe get a little bit of a story too.
Yeah, and what we love about this event is not only its uniqueness, but it's very intimate. We limit the amount of people that are a part of it. So like you said, the tickets are going fast. There's not many tickets that are out there because we want to keep it more intimate. Because it helps with that experience. It allows you to dig a little bit deeper. And then we also bring in some incredible little mini charcuteries from our friends at Time and Honey that you get to then use to experiment to see how some of these different flavored honeys maybe accent different foods that we have, and how we can maybe use it at home in our cooking or to enhance some of our recipes. So it's a lot of fun. It's very unique experience, and the people that have come always walk away just feeling like it was a really fun night.
And this is not the first time, Brian, that this event has happened in West Bloomfield in recent years, but the last couple times, last year and this year specifically, it's at Marshbank Park. Why was it important for you and, of course, for our friends at West Bloomfield Parks to put this event right smack in the middle of Marshbank Park?
You know, not only is it a beautiful setting, we get to be in the little lodge there, and so it's a wonderful feel, again, that intimacy. But what I love about the Marshbank Parks is there's so many of those native floral around there. It's not far from where our hives are in West Bloomfield, and it just shows that importance and partnership. And we were so pleased with the response that we got last year with the Honey Sommelier that we were like, we have to do it again because it was so much fun. And we've had a lot of people asking about it. So it's fun to be right there in West Bloomfield.
What message do you hope people take away from something like this? They go there, they learn about the honey, they enjoy the honey, maybe they think about buying some more of this locally produced, locally sourced, and sold honey in our community. But there's a more important message too. So what do you hope, of all things, that people that attend the Honey Sommelier event on November 15th take away from that?
Well, I kind of said it, that there's a story behind every drop of honey. And there's also a lot of work that goes behind every drop of honey by those honeybees, and the importance of these pollinators to our ecosystem and to our food industry. And so I hope people walk away with that, but I hope they also walk away just with in awe, which they usually are, at the diversity of honey and the diversity of flavors and the uniqueness and complexities that goes into just one jar of honey.
More information, beesinthed.com, or register right now before time runs out, before those spaces are no longer open. wbparks.org. The event's coming up quick, Saturday, November 15th at Marshbank Park, the Honey Sommelier tasting event with Bees in the D. Brian, you have mentioned a couple of times your hives here in West Bloomfield. They're very nearby. People may not even know as they're driving by or walking by them that they're nearby a close and active beehive. Where are some of your hives here in our community?
In West Bloomfield, we're at Carner Farm, where the dog park is, where the community garden is. I mean, what a fit.
Yeah.
The community garden is getting direct results of that pollination from the hives that are there. And it's also a very beautiful setting with a lot of the native plants and landscape there as well.
And it's a great location to go take your family out and enjoy a little bit of nature in our community. And the bees are working hard there with their family all throughout the season as well. Brian, before we let you go, anything else people should know about this particular event happening in West Bloomfield Township this weekend, or other things coming down the pike from Bees in the D?
No, it's just I love our partnership with West Bloomfield Parks, and this is one of the events that we can do on kind of these off months as the bees are going a little bit more dormant in their hives. But come spring, we do those hive tours, which is a really popular there at Carner Farms, and you get to suit up, you get to go into the hives. So be watching for that as well, as that's a very popular event that you could be a part of as well.
And just before I let you go, Brian Peterson-Roest, founder of Bees in the D, with us on the Splash Live, the Honey Sommelier's event happening this weekend at Marshbank Park. You can register on wbparks.org. Brian, it is kind of the off season for the bees, but a lot is done during this season to make sure that they have a fruitful spring and summer when they're at their most active and hardworking. So if people in the community want to get involved, they want to help our local bees, and they want to help Bees in the D, what are the best ways they can get involved today?
It's getting a little late for this, but actually the weather's supposed to warm up a little bit. That snow maybe made us think it's a little too late, but plant native. This is a fall time is a great time to be able to plant some of the native plants that help not just the honeybees, but all of our native bees. The other thing that they can do is also always support local beekeepers. They are working hard. Go to that farmer's market, buy honey from them, buy local. That really helps. But even buy local from our farmers. That helps out a lot as well, because our farmers are also helping our pollinators by putting a lot of resources out there for them.
Just some of those easy steps you can take every single day to help our pollinators, like our bees, and help organizations like Bees in the D. Brian, thank you as always for joining us.
It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing some of you at the Honey Sommelier event. And I do want to let you know that we just bottled it up yesterday at Detroit City Distillery. We will have some of our barrel-aged honey, bourbon honey at this tasting as well, which is always a favorite.